Hi Jasmine, thank you so much for booking with me. I hope this reading finds you well and at a time that you truly need to hear it. I'm gonna go over like some of the how I run down the reading. So I start with like a crystal read, which is like me picking specific crystals out to see how they relate to your energy. They'll eventually come into play later on during the reading, which is what I happens most of the time. Like I'll be talking about something and I'll be like, oh, that's why you need smoky quartz. But so yeah, so I pick the crystals out. Then I go into a mini chart analysis and how that relates to any of your past lives. And then we do the past life reading. And then I do a mini little message from spirit at the end to, get your spirits up. But let me go right into the crystals before I start talking too much. So I always have blue kyanite here. Like this crystal ain't nothing special. Kind of all crystals have something special, but blue kyanite always stays on this desk at all times. So blue kyanite is known as the past life regression crystal, and it's really good for when you're trying to connect to past lives. It works great with the throat chakra. It's a calming crystal as well, and it also helps you receive intuitive information. It's really pretty. And actually, before this, I had a different kyanite here, and it kind of just like scrambled away because I have two. I have like this little mini one, and then I have a big one. So let me tell you about the crystals that I picked for you. Over here are my notes, and I will kind of get into that later. But let me tell you what crystals I had picked out for you. So this is smoky quartz. Now, smoky quartz is in the quartz family, and smoky quartz is for grounding and protection. I noticed that in your chart there is heavy fire, but there's not a lot of air, and there's not a lot of earth either. There is water and there is fire, and there is not even a lot of water. So to me, you feel like a fire sign. Like, I don't know if I could get any more fire sign than you, but back to the smoky quartz. So smoky quartz is a crystal of grounding and protection. I'm gonna put it a little closer right here. It's a grounding and protection crystal, and it's supposed to help you overcome negative and unwanted energy. I feel like you tend to walk around with your energy kind of like all up in the open. I feel like either you don't carry crystals on you, or if you do, they are not physically on you. And at the end of the day, you can kind of be bogged down by negative energy. I don't know if this is more due to your workplace, due to your family, but I feel like you can easily take on other people's energy and emotions, and somehow that tends to weigh you down. So this is a crystal that's great for protecting your energy. You can't really see it, but it's very translucent, and I don't know if the camera will capture it. Excuse my nails. It's very translucent and almost like a foggy gray, and that's why it's called smoky quartz, because it is a foggy gray. Now this crystal is related to the Celtic region. It's also a root chakra stone. So if you're finding yourself having trouble feeling secure in your environment, or you're just having trouble with like grounding yourself, root issues, scarcity, anything that has to do with survival mode, smoky quartz is directly relating to your root chakra. And it's also related to Hecate, which Hecate is a Wiccan deity. She's known as like the deity of the crossroads. Very similar to Papa Legba, but not exactly. If you see me dropping crystals, just I'll pay for them. I could drop them. So this big boy right here, this is blue calcite. Now I realized you don't have air in your chart. Like there's not a smidge of air, not a single smidge of air. Like no air to be found. I feel like that Jody Sparks song. It goes no air. I looked at that chart and I was like, wow. Like I think your Mercury was in Scorpio. Yeah, it was. I was like, wow, this woman is just emotion and fire. But anyway, so blue calcite is a calm crystal, and it's supposed to align you with your throat chakra, help you communicate in a clear and peaceful manner. Now, why do I say clear and peaceful manner? You have a Scorpio Mercury. Scorpio Mercuries tend to, I don't want to say be rough, but I feel like you guys get down to the point. like, yes, there is an emotional understanding and an emotional, like, wanting to be emotionally sympathetic in some way, but you guys get down to the nitty gritty. Like, you're not there to play. When I think of Scorpio Mercuries, I think of the little tail on the scorpion. It aims to strike. So you guys will not miss a point, even if you wanted to be honest. And sometimes that can really, like, I feel like that could offend people or more scare them away. But it kind of, this stone kind of helps you, like, ease that, make it come off in a calm manner, without missing the point of things, if that makes sense. Now, this is also a stone for a deeper insight and clarity on any issues that you might be going through. So if you feel like your intuition is bogged down, or your mind is a little bogged down, you don't really know how to communicate it, blue calcite is definitely like a way to go. Now, malachite. Let me see. I wish it looks black. No, I don't know what it looks like. Can you see it? This good angle. Yeah. So malachite, I wish you could see it. He has like really pretty swirls. He almost looks like taffy. So malachite. Malachite lets go of old patterns. I feel like this is going to come more into your Scorpio moon. It lets you release old patterns, old habits, old ways of being, and it helps you step outside of your comfort zone. This stone is specifically for Scorpios and Cancers, and you have Scorpio in your chart relating to your moon and your Mercury sign. But it lets you go of old patterns, steps outside of your comfort zone, it pushes you closer towards your journey, whether that be a physical journey, like going out somewhere, or is this more stepping into a spiritual journey? Now, malachite is a heart chakra stone. So if there's a lot of pent up emotions, this stone will clear that out of the way. What does that mean? That means heavy crying. This means you're not going to be able to hide from some of those issues that are kind of really like dealt deep in there. This in no way is Moldavite. It's not going on the Moldavite craze. This is more of a like an opening yourself up. When I think of malachite, think of the heart chakra. The heart chakra is also green, but it's also a receiving stone. It lets you be able to receive not only from other people, but like be more receptive to anything around you. Be receptive to that abundance, to that prosperity. That's why it's also a green stone. If you hear anyone behind me, that's my daughter. I'm sorry. She has nowhere else to go. She has to live with me. That was a joke. Oh, felt something on my leg. It was scary. Okay, so this is your birth chart analysis. I'm going to be going through the points. Bear with me. I promise it's a lot, but it's not. So first things first, I realize that you have a huge cluster, the sun in Sag. So when you have a big cluster, actually, let me go through before I start my rant, let me go through my my sources. So I'm going to show you what I'll be using. So this is Karmic Connections and Past Life Astrology. So Past Life Astrology is a breakdown. It's kind of like a simple, I want to say it's the intro before you get into this one. So Past Life Astrology kind of gives you like the basics of what you need to know when you're doing kind of like a past life birth chart reading type, sort of, kind of. It just kind of breaks everything down for you in an easy manner that's easy for you to digest, and then you go into the big boy. Now this one is kind of like a more in-depth of this one. So if you are interested, I would say start with this one, work your way up to this one, and this one actually has a sister book called Patterns of the Past. So it's from one to another. It kind of like jumps the ladder here. But yeah, this one's a thick old boy. It's a lot to get through. It's a lot of math. I don't know if you're into that, but if you're really interested, the first one is actually like really like easy to grasp. So yeah, this is where I got most of my sources from. I'm gonna put this in the little corner because once I start rambling, like my hands get everywhere. Okay, so back to your sun and Sag. So in the book, it mentions that when you have a heavy cluster of planets in one area, there's significant karma surrounding that. So you have a huge cluster in the sign of Sagittarius in the 12th house. So I'm gonna start little by little so that I could kind of like put it all together at the end, if that makes sense. Okay, so Sun and Sag. There's kind of like a philosophical urge with Sagittarians. They always need to know more. The thing about Sagittarius is they're very similar to Libras in the fact that they follow like a sort of law to them. They have this like righteousness, like inner like Robin Hood type thing. That's exactly what it is like. It's like Robin Hood. It's like they will, you know how he steals from the rich to give to the poor? Sagittarians kind of make their own laws like that. Like if they feel the laws don't fit to them, they will go and they will break the laws to make it fair and just, which is really funny because that's not like Libra but similar to Libra, if that makes sense. They need to understand the world and experience other cultures because, like I said, they have this like weird philosophical urge. Like your ruler is Jupiter and you tend to take risks just for the thrills of it. This is why you'll find a lot of Sagittarians traveling, studying abroad, like trying to learn other languages, just trying to really enrich themselves in some form of manner. But then you find other Sagittarians that kind of just want to like destroy things, like disrupt. Like it's a really weird ladder with Sagittarians because, like I said, they don't do it in a sense to be neglectful or bad. They do it more because they're trying to create their own sense of justice. They're trying to create that balance for other people, not just from themselves. These are really caring individuals. I know a lot of people don't think so, but Sagittarians are really caring individuals when they feel like you're worth caring for, which isn't a whole lot of people. And with your moon in Scorpio, I'm gonna just wait till we get there. You guys can tend to value your personal freedom. I think freedom is a huge thing for fire signs, but even more for Sagittarians. Like I said, you people are like, you guys like to move around. You guys need that enrichment, that sense of adventure. And sometimes that can kind of like cause you to trample other people's feelings, but it's not like you mean it. It's like if somebody tends to impose kind of restrictions and limits on you, you're gonna just be like, hey, like, screw you. Like, I don't want to follow your rules. Again, there we go. That's that righteousness, that sense of freedom, that sense of justice. You need to integrate different terms of knowledge. Again, like I said, that's why a lot of Sagittarians kind of like study abroad and like decide to enrich themselves in all areas of life. I feel like you can have large groups of friends from different backgrounds because you want that kind of like social enrichment. So now, Moon in Scorpio. I put here in a very capitalized, superficial connections are going to drain you, even if you want something superficial. So, what does that mean? That means you have no room in you because that Scorpio moon wants that intensity, wants that intimacy. You're looking for the nitty gritty. You really, this is exactly what it is. You're looking for the nitty gritty. And even if you want to go into like a superficial connection, it's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen for you. Like, you're going to be like, oh, this guy, he's like, it's nothing serious. And then somehow that guy's going to end up telling you that his mom left him and that he got mommy issues and here he is, you know? Like, I feel like people can kind of emotionally dump on you like that. I feel like because your moon and your Mercury is in Scorpio, and Scorpio, I forgot what house it was. In, but any Scorpio moon tends to go through very heavy themes in life, and you can find it hard to kind of like carry all that on you. There's where that smoky quartz comes in. When people start kind of emotionally dumping on you, I feel like some people can just tell you stuff out of random, like you did not even ask, but they feel like for some reason you are strong enough to carry this emotional baggage that they've been hoarding around for like 5 years. But and you can also struggle through heavy life themes. So I feel like when that comes in, it could be like struggles with either your parents or your relationships, like more heavier themes, if that makes sense. If you want me to elaborate, I will. Oh yeah, I said heavier themes because it's in the 12th house. You have a Scorpio moon in the 12th house. Now the 12th house deals with spirituality. It deals with isolation, it deals with imprisonment, and yeah. But I feel like kind of like an emotional cage, not really like an actual imprisonment for you. Your emotional needs can be very impulsive and intense. What is it? Yeah. As a water moon, you wait, what? Sorry, girl. Heavy emotions and experiences in order to protect yourself from them. Oh, that you need to detach from them. I write stuff and then I forget. But yes, you can be so emotionally invested in people that sometimes you can take on their own problems, which is not what you need to do. You have this need to kind of nurture people. I feel like it comes with the water sign thing, but there needs to kind of draw a boundary. And I feel like you can be good at that, but sometimes people feel it as you not caring, which is not really the case. Now, I put here that you might have friends that are either other water moons or earth moons, because they can kind of balance you out and really help you kind of ground yourself and your emotions into like reality. I feel like if you keep telling yourself that emotion isn't valid, you're gonna believe that emotion isn't valid until somebody comes along and you're like, hey, you have like every right to feel that way. That's what happens with you. Now, where are we here? Ooh. Your Capricorn Venus. Why didn't I write it? Oh, I did. Now, the way I saw Capricorn and Venus for you is kind of like a broker investing in stocks. The broker's not going to invest all his money. He's going to invest little by little. And if he sees return, he will invest more. And I feel like that's very much in terms of what a Capricorn Venus is like. It's like you don't go into relationships. First of all, I know you got some intense emotional needs just because of that Scorpio moon and because of that Venus and Capricorn. You don't go into relationships just because. I feel like there needs to be some return to what you get in a relationship. It's like you want there to be something, like, not in like, so I put here, let me read you what I put because I feel like it'll put my mouth into words, if that makes sense. So you date with realistic ideas and assets and long-term views, meaning if you have a car, a house, a dog, this man better have a car, a house, and a dog. You are looking for equal return and equal investment when it comes to your relationships. Now, I know this sounds very, very like money, very like, you're not the type to just go into a relationship because the feelings are right. You need to know that you're secure, that there's investment, there's potential in this relationship before you go jumping anywhere. I feel like you are not, when somebody says froggy, you don't jump. You look at your options. There's a very logical approach to how you date. And this is not in a gold digger manner. This is more of a long-term security thing. It's like a don't count your chickens before they hatch. And that's very, very much you. And sometimes people can see it as like a cold-hearted thing. Like, oh, she just talked to me for like a week. And then, she kind of just didn't talk to me anymore. Which I feel like you're very good at deciphering who's going to give you long-term investment and long-term kind of a relationship and stuff. Not a relationship, but like who's going to give you what you're looking for in the long term, and it's actually going to be worth your while when it comes to your Capricorn Venus. So yeah, thank you for my rant. So yeah, you want the best return for your time. So Moon and Mercury in Scorpio. I wish I could see these notes. Like, I don't even... Oh, here we go. I wish you could see these notes. My handwriting is disastrous. So, with your Mercury and your Moon in Scorpio, people can feel like you come off as aggressive. Like, you can feel like when you're communicating with them, it could be like in a weird aggression sort of way, which is not the case. Like I said, you tend to really care about these people, but you feel like it is important for their growth and for their stimulation for you not to beat around the bush. And some people can appreciate it, and I feel like the people that you surround yourself, especially if they're Capricorn moons, or Aquarius moons, they will very much appreciate it. Oh, sorry, I have a sister, but that scared me. Wow. So I feel like those people can appreciate it. You're very good at reading other people's emotions because of that Scorpio moon, but you won't let other people read your emotions. You not read your emotions, or really just kind of, you'll be very good at letting people tell you everything about them and listening to them, but you will not give the same thing. I feel like you're very private when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your relationships, and you kind of just want to keep it that way. I feel like there might be a reason for it, but it's also kind of comes in nature to you. Now, I did write your 12th house Sag, and I put there can be philosophical qualities to you, deep meaning to learn about the occult or the taboo, because it is in your 12th house. So I feel like you might be interested in the magic, the witchcraft, the astrology. Obviously you're here. But I feel like that knowledge, that need to be stimulated, that discovering is never going to go away until you actually satisfy it. And I feel like maybe you haven't reached that point yet, but I feel like as you get older and you kind of find your way, you'll realize like, hey, like I wish, where's that book? I'm gonna show you right here. You kind of be like, okay, like this is something that I can ingrain to my life. I hope that was my bookmark. So this is a book that I've been reading. I kind of tweeted about it the other day, and I feel like maybe you might like it. It's called Financial Sorcery. It has some really good exercises. It's kind of like to build long-term wealth in your life, and that Capricorn Venus might be interested in this. So yeah, food for thought. Now let me get into the second part of the reading. Let me show you what decks I use. I use the Deviant Moon. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is my first deck. I use Past Life Oracle. Ooh, can you see it? Past Life Oracle cards by Brian Weiss and Doreen Virtue. Now, if you don't know who Brian Weiss is basically the father of past life regression. If you don't know what past life regression is, Google it. It's super interesting. He's written so many books. If you've never heard of the book Many Lives, Many Masters, I would go and I would read it. Like, that book is life-changing. I went to see him when he came down here in Fort Lauderdale. When he came down to Miami to Fort Lauderdale, I was like, let me go see this guy before he's super old, by the way. Super old. Like, I can't describe you how old this man is. This man is in his 80s. But I was like, let me go see him before, before he kneels over. But yeah, so I would definitely check out his books. He's got a ton of books. He's got the first one being Many Lives, Many Masters. He's got From Time to Healing. No, I might be pronouncing it wrong, but I've read that one too. He's got, girl, if I could name all the books. I got some here. I got Many Lives, Many Masters, From Time into Healing, Messages from the Masters, and there's one about soulmates in there too, but I would start with Many Lives, Many Masters. His work is actually really great. You could find some of his talks on YouTube as well. He's like an amazing man, and if you know who Doreen Virtue, you know how she fell from grace. But I actually got this deck maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and if you're interested in it, there's an Etsy shop that sells it. It's actually like, I have it down here because I wanted to kind of compare like the sizes and stuff. There's an Etsy shop online that sells it. So this is the original, and this is the one from Etsy. Kind of looks like, it looks pretty funny, and it doesn't come with a book, so it's literally just the cards. But yeah, look, yeah, it's a baby. Okay, so I'm gonna go into it. I kind of like to address like themes and stuff. I just kind of like to pull cards out as they come, and then I kind of just like piece it together, whatever way it gives me. So let's start here. Put this baby on the side. Now, I tell people that past lives are very much like Avatar: The Last Airbender. A certain lifetime will pop up, or more than one, depending on the issues that you have or that you're encountering. It's very much like when Aang channels a lifetime when he's having a specific problem, like he channels Roku, he channels Kyoshi. And this is very much kind of like that. You can go through many lifetimes. Actually, I wrote something somewhere here. Like, I remember writing something right here. I wrote, sorry, this thing is thick, midwife. So I'm actually really interested to see where this goes, because I finished most of my research today, but I remember writing midwife at the top. So I like to give it a little knock. Ooh, first card right out. Ooh. I don't know if that counted. What messages do we have for Jasmine? Oof. This is really, really interesting. I'm gonna get that card right now, but what message do we have? It's really interesting because one of the cards that wanted to fly out was communal living. I feel like I should pull it out, but I'll show you right now. Whew. Oh, that boy flew. Messages do we have? Yes, Jasmine. Okay. Let me get this card that kind of like, I'm sorry, I always have my leg like propped up on here for no particular reason. Okay. So we have 2 lifetimes here. It's very, very interesting. I feel like, do you want to have kids? I feel like there's kind of like a karma surrounding a child here, which is very, very interesting. Remember how I said midwife? Okay, so I see 2 lifetimes here. I'm going to show you the cards as they come out. So I have Native American. I have medicine man or woman. I have vows. I have baby. And I have Atlantis. Now let me tell you what I get just from this right here. Now, it says Native American, but it doesn't feel Native American, if that makes sense. So I say midwife, and I feel like one of these are one and the same because I feel like it's midwife or a doula. But there is a lot of like spiritual buildup here. I feel like if you ever wanted to go into like that area, you would do extremely, extremely well. And this kind of relates back to your chart. Now, I'm just gonna call you a midwife. The lifetime here feels very midwifey. Now, I remember reading when I was doing your chart dissect that it said that people with heavy 12th house and the moon and Mercury and Scorpio, you kind of go through darker themes in lifetimes, in your past lifetimes, like experiencing really heavy themes of life, death, and rebirth, especially with the moon in Scorpio. So it kind of doesn't surprise me that you would kind of have this lifetime as a midwife. And I feel like the baby here is not your baby, but it kind of feels like you took responsibility for this child in some way, because also vows is here. I won't get into that. So there's 2 separate lifetimes. I'm going to kind of divide it. I'm going to go through midwife first, and then I'm going to go through Atlantis after. So let me see. I'm going to start pulling tarot cards. Oh! Okay. They're really long. Talkative today, huh? If there's any down here on this screen. Okay. Okay, so let me see. Ooh! What can you tell me about past life? I feel like there was kind of some like, because the hangman is reversed, so I feel like there was a decision made here that you would either move from the current village that you were in. This feels like a very like, I don't know, this feels like old times. So maybe like 1800s. Yeah. You're probably in like your like 30s here. And there was some conversation being had about you going to this village. Like this wasn't your home village. I feel like they offered you kind of an opportunity to grow and kind of maybe work with more people. I feel like the village that you were living in, you were kind of one of very few young people there, or even midwives there. I feel like this village in itself kind of had a lot of like older people, kind of I don't know if there's a huge age gap between you and like your family members, but this village feels like it was very like elderly in a sense. So you were taught by an older woman how to kind of learn and take on the responsibilities of being a midwife. Now, I feel like this was kind of more decided for you, not really you deciding, just because there seems to be like an afterthought process here. It makes me feel like they were like, there is not enough pregnancies or births, or there just wasn't enough babies in this village. This feels like a mostly elderly village for you to get that real life experience for you. I feel like you maybe delivered 1 or 2 babies and really didn't realize the full responsibility of this till you were moved to another village. I feel like there was like a conversation between elders about what you would be doing, and you kind of took that like, okay, like I feel like you wanted not only to leave this village to kind of enrich yourself in cultural, like in a different culture, in a different background, with different people. So eventually you thought that this would be a good idea, and it was. I feel like when I see the 8 of Pentacles here, it shows me that you went to work with somebody else. 222, by the way. You went to work with somebody else that kind of nurtured these abilities for you. I feel like this person is an air sign. I feel like there's going to be somebody in your life that's going to be very nurturing towards you. They're going to be either a Libra. I feel like it's Libra. Like, I feel very heavy Libra energy, or they might just be like a Libra moon, but there's a lot of Libra energy here. Could also be an Aquarius, but I feel like it's predominantly Libra. So I don't know who this person is, but it feels like this person kind of really nurtured you in a sense of kind of seeing long-term vision and long-term potential for you. And it shows here, it reflects in the 8 of Pentacles, because I feel like you spent a lot of time in this village doing really, really great work that was kind of meaningful to you. And they kind of showed you, there's a lot of like herbal work. I don't know if it's a doula, but there's a lot of herbal work here, like preparing, like I feel like you're here with the pregnant woman for a long, from the beginning to the very, very end. You are there kind of like nursing her, teaching her breathing exercises. I feel like if you were to actually learn to try to be a midwife or a doula, or just kind of like learn about the practice, it could jog your memory a little bit, because there is kind of like a theme here when it comes to this. I don't know why I'm doing this. You see this? There's kind of a theme here, but whatever. This person kind of helped you really, really go along the path of kind of discovering yourself, of kind of like showing the ropes and stuff. Eventually this person kind of leaves your life, but I feel like they were around you for like 8 years. I don't know if there's going to be like a very significant relationship with this person, or you already know this person, but this person feels like a very, very close friend of yours, or will be a very close friend of yours. Maybe as you reach your 30s and your 40s, you'll meet this person. But it feels like there was one that you could not get over. Yeah, because the cards start looking a little, you might have like a rough relationship with a fire sign, and I'm only saying this because the Queen of Wands is here, but it feels like there was one baby that just didn't really get delivered the way you wanted to, and it wasn't your fault. I feel like there was like exterior circumstances here, and there was a lot of strain, and this woman could have lost her baby kind of farther along. I feel like in like the 3rd trimester, and this is where you either vowed not to have kids, or you vowed to just stop being a midwife doula altogether, because the vow is here. I feel like this vow could have also had to deal with like money, because like I said, I did see communal living before. Communal living was one of the first cards that popped out. So when that happens, communal living shows you a lot about like finances. When I see communal living, it's because the soul and the spirit has decided that it could not decided, but it has issues understanding the concept of money, because when you are in a communal space for a lot of your lifetimes, the idea of money is very foreign. Wow, that kind of relates back to the book that I mentioned earlier. The idea of money is very foreign, and you kind of have to integrate yourself, because I feel like they used to really, really take care of their midwives, their doulas, their healers, by the community they were taken care of. So they really didn't build that relationship with money. So I feel like issues around surrounding money can be pertinent to you. I feel like you either have to rebuild your relationship with money, or you have to learn a healthier relationship with your money, especially as you get older throughout your life. Now, like I said, back to this. So I feel like there was one that you could not deliver, and it wasn't your fault, but you tend to see a lot of infant deaths around this time. So I feel like, in a sense, you kind of enclosed yourself. You kind of isolated yourself, took yourself away. Yeah, look. The Seven of Swords reversed. So when I see the Seven of Swords reversed, I don't see it as a, like, I see the top part as a betrayal, but I see the one reversed as a betrayal to yourself. I feel like you kind of lost faith in yourself a little bit, and you kind of took everything personal. Like, you feel like you could have done this, you could have done that, when in reality, during this time there was so much going on. I don't know if, like, this is the time during influenza, because I do feel like a weird, like, sickness around in the air, but you kind of took that, like, personal. I feel like you felt like you could have saved these kids in some sort of way, but that really wasn't the reality. The reality was this was kind of out of your hands, and you saw a lot of this. Like, it was not just with you, but it was with other midwives, with other people in the village, and it kind of made you lose your sense of faith a little bit. Like, I do feel you being very discouraged at some point, and not really realizing if you should go on. I feel like you do stop around the age of like 40 to 45, and it kind of like brought you down a lot. I feel like the soul was on a path to elevate itself, to understand life and death from the beginning, from conception to the final process. And I feel like you birthed a lot of the children that lived in this village. So even kind of looking at them, I don't know if you have, I'm getting like very specific, like a landscape. It's very hot here. It's not a lot of rain, which does contribute a lot to like what's going on in the village and stuff, but the village is still like prospering and stuff. So there's a lot of corn here. I don't know if you've ever dreamt of this place. There's a lot of corn, a lot of dirt. Everything is kind of made out of I don't know how they put it, but it's like a red brick, but it's like a mud. So it's like the muds are placed in red bricks, and I feel like you will eventually dream about this place, or you've dreamt about this place, or you could have seen it somewhere and it kind of like triggered a memory. But yeah, so everything is kind of like red bricks like this. Like, I know I'm trying to create bricks with my tarot cards, but like red bricks. And even the top formation of these things, they kind of look like cubes rather than actual like upward houses, if that makes sense. So let me see what type of, ooh. Yeah, I feel like for you, oh yeah, look, reverse judgment. For you, it was kind of like a misplaced realization is what I'm gonna call it. I feel like in this lifetime there was a lot of like the theme kind of judgment coming back and forth to you, kind of making you realize, hey, this is the path you're supposed to be on, this is the path you're supposed to be on. And you were really like, I feel like after you stopped, your life kind of slowed down a lot. Like, I felt like you were kind of like in a spiritually stuck place because this fulfilled you so much, and it kind of made it hard for you to move on from that. When I see the Five of Swords, I also see it as like hard to move on from certain thoughts that keep you in place. And I feel like that's very much the Five of Swords here. Like, you found it very hard to move on from your thoughts. You could have created this like imprisonment in your mind. Again, the 12th house themes. And you kind of felt spiritually stuck as well. I feel like maybe you've been in this hole before, and maybe you're going through that hole now. And I feel like for you to even make some progress, start reading about this or reading stories about this. Start connecting to this person, because I feel like they have some sort of insight for you. I feel like right now your spiritual path could be very very stuck, very, because when I see the Four of Swords, I feel like it's an overindulgence of not doing anything or like not really moving anywhere. And it's this whole spread right here makes me feel stuck. It makes me feel like I'm being shown this, but I'm deciding not to do it because there's a fear here. There's like an illogical fear. Now, we're dealing with human lives here, but she knew that there was other things going on, and she still kind of shouldered that blame. And I feel like this is going to be a theme for your life as well. I feel like you could tend to shoulder a lot of blame that doesn't really belong to you. Like, you need to be able to release that, let it go, you know, so that you could find that inspiration for what you want to do again. Yeah, look, I was just talking about shouldering blames. The 10 of wands. I don't need these cards. These cards need me. But yeah, I feel like you can tend to carry other people's burdens, shoulder the blame, when in reality, you know, this has kind of nothing to do with you. I'm going to kind of go through the other lifetimes. So Atlantis in itself, I want to see what kind of themes are represented in Atlantis. Now, if you don't know about Atlantis, it is kind of in the middle of like Asia. So when I describe it to people, I've talked to another spiritual about this, and I know we all sound like wackos and nuttos, but it's literally where like the Asian Pacific Ocean, like down there smack dab in the middle, is where it is. And if you love water, dolphins, just if the Bermuda Triangle ever really fascinated you, you probably have origins there. So let me see what's going on. Oh, do we have a card? Yeah. I was not sure if it was gonna pop out or not. Let's see, what sort of themes were lived in Atlantis? Ooh, this is the juicy and the spicy. Let's see. The juicy and the spicy. So I have here the Queen of Cups, the Lovers, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, and the Three of Pentacles reversed. So I feel like Atlantis was a very, like, I don't want to call it romantic, but I feel like there was romance here, you know? I feel like you were very young here too. You don't feel that old here. You feel like maybe 18, 19 is the youngest that I'm getting, and the oldest I'm getting is like 22 or 23. So there was a theme of love. Now, I've never done a love reading for past life, but there's a theme here. I feel like whoever you're gonna end up with is either gonna be Scorpio sun, Cancer sun, or Pisces sun, kind of to complement that moon of yours. But the theme here was that there was no stable foundation to be built on. Now, that's not a joke because Atlantis sunk, but I feel like this is why kind of you reincarnated into a Capricorn Venus. I feel like this person will come back along to test this. This is an old connection, and you will immediately feel it, and it will immediately go off in your head. Maybe that's why you're seeing 222. 222 is the number of not just balance, but it's also like union, harmony. Maybe that's why you're seeing 222 if you are seeing 222. I feel like this person will come around, try to test your boundaries, but I feel like they are probably not in a place. I feel like maybe you'll meet somebody, and this is where it's gonna like become difficult for you, because your logical mind is gonna be like, there is no immediate return here, there is no long-term potential here, but you are so very attracted to this person that you're just kind of going against that grain. And I feel like you should not. I feel like if this person is the person for you, they need to get it together. You cannot be waiting. There's no way you can be waiting. This lesson will continue to repeat itself. It feels like you charged in with the sheer intent of being with this person in a past life, but they were not even a crumb ready for you. There was nothing this person could have done for you during this lifetime. I feel like their life wasn't together. I feel like they could have been avoiding you. I feel like this person was avoiding you specifically. This could also be like, I want to say a Virgo, but they might have a water moon like you too. But this person was kind of avoiding you and kind of making things weird from the beginning. And I feel like in this lifetime they won't do that, but they will still be very unstable and not let you know about it. I feel like there's a pride. There's there's an underlying sense of pride. Like, you are the Queen of Cups. You handle your emotions, and you kind of you handle your emotions. You know where you're going. There's compassion here for other people, but you know where to draw the line. And this person, he's the reverse King of Cups. So he's like, he's the anti to your matter. Like, this person will come in very suave, not give you a lot of detail, and that's gonna kind of like lay off a red flag for you. Like, why is this person not telling me everything? Because you're used to people kind of just opening up to you, but there's kind of be like an underlying manipulative quality to this person that you'll get from the jump. Now, even if this connection isn't romantic, it can also be like a friendship. Don't overstep your boundary when it comes to this person, because I feel like they're very sensitive because of the point of where they are in life, and that can cause issues within the relationship or within the friendship. So just make sure that you give this person space. I feel like there's kind of like an indecision going on here, like whether you want to keep this person in your life or not. But that's going to be kind of like a telltale sign eventually, if that makes sense. It's going to be a telltale sign for you. Do not negate your intuition. I feel like that is your number one thing. When you negate your intuition, you start kind of being more overly critical and logical, and it can cause you to kind of just become in this weird like mental funk. Now I'm gonna end up this reading with there's a mess here, with the Sacred Destiny Oracle for a message from Spirit. Let's see. What message do we have for Jasmine? What message do we have for Jasmine? Oh, okay. All right. Adventure. Oh my god. And I love the little, I forgot what type of pears they are, but I used to have one when I was little. I love it. So cute. What did I say about adventure in that malachite? It says happiness. Ooh. And it says trust. Wow. These cards, for whatever reason, like stick together. I love the deck, but these cards always tend to like stick together. But I feel like the message was very, very well received. So I feel like for you, you need to open yourself to the possibilities that there is more for you out there than where you're sitting at right now. I feel like the beginning part of the reading, where the midwife, the doula, she leaves for a better opportunity and kind of for an enrichment, is where you need to be right now. If you're stagnant in your life, there needs to be some sort of change, whether that be a physical change or kind of like an internal change within you, some sort of movement that leads you into the next portion of your life, which is going to be happiness. I feel like with happiness, more is going to come into your life, like not only intellectually. Dolphins are a very intellectual, communicative animal. I feel like there's going to be a life out there for you that allows you to meet other people, to create those connections that you want, and to build that happiness that you're probably looking for right now. And there's also trust. I feel like when you become stagnant in something for too long, you kind of lose faith. You kind of disregard what's being given to you, or what information is being given to you through dreams or through like synchronicities, and you kind of need to like let go of that need for control and just trust that everything's gonna be fine. You know, do your before bed mantras. I promise you, affirmations, before bed affirmations, they will change your life. Before bed affirmations. But you need to trust that you're being led on the right path, and that the situations that you're going through, they're going to be for a better benefit for you, especially if you're in a stuck place. If you're in a stuck place externally, that means that internally there's something inside of you that's telling you that you're stuck in some sort of your life. I always tell people, when I feel stuck in my life, to me that means that I'm not doing enough for myself. And I feel like that's the question that you need to ask yourself right now. Are you doing enough for yourself? What are your future goals? What are your long-term goals? Are you even making a plan to reach these goals? And then just have faith that every day that you're doing at least a little something for you, whether that's workout, whether that's read a book, something that's going to push you into that direction, into that right track. And I feel like that's where you're going to be right now. Oh, and even the card under here, enlightenment, that's where you're going to reach. So go out, have an adventure, find happiness, trust that you're on the right path, and reach that enlightenment. I feel like you're on that way. You're treading through. And if you have any other questions, reach out to me. I will be here. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need anything else. And thank you so much for booking with me. And I hope that I hear from you soon. Bye.